Palmer here with Candace Sanderson. It's Spiritual Conversations with Carrie and Candace. And I have a question for you. Yesterday was a big day. Some people, it was Thanksgiving. If you were able to get together with friends and family, good for you. I hope it was wonderful. But I do have a question for you. How many of you now hate your relatives, right? The topics that we never want to touch on, religion and politics. I have a feeling they
Exactly,
came up for some people.
exactly. You know, we've known forever you don't talk about religion or politics when you get together with anyone, whether it's over Zoom or whether it's in person. But sometimes, especially on the holidays, um,
Have a cocktail
t-
or two.
and then
Woo-oo.
it's yeah. So we're just wondering, how did you survive? And we actually want to give you a few survival tips. Um,
Oh,
we're talking about tuning in versus tuning out.
yes.
And maybe we should have shared this before Thanksgiving.
Well, we do touch on this quite a bit in a lot of our videos, but and I was talking to Candace about this. One of the things that so many people will come up to me like, how do you find this peace and this stillness? How are you so zen like? And people hate my answer because they're not ready for it. The most important part for me, the first thing that I did when I found being present, and I know a lot of people that say, oh, I'm present, but they're not.
Yeah,
Presence
right.
is yesterday doesn't matter, 5 minutes ago doesn't matter, tomorrow doesn't matter. I don't care what I'm doing. Right now, I'm right here, right now. Right now, at this moment, you have no problems whatsoever. And you stay in that moment, you are in peace. You are in stillness. It is so Zen like. So that was how I started this. And then when I continued doing it, realizing that you have to turn off your devices, shut down the TV, be alone and go inside. And that is the thing. I'd say 99.9 out of 100 people tell me where to go because it's like I'm wrong. And I'm like, they don't understand. Shutting down everything else, going inside allows the higher self of you to come out and give you
Right,
all the good stuff that you've been looking for your entire life.
right.
It's
And
like they just don't want to hear us.
but what's so funny about that, Carrie, is we live in the present moment. I mean, that's the only way we can live. That's all that
Yeah.
we have. But we let our brains, start analyzing things and we think about the past, or maybe we think about the Thanksgiving conversations from yesterday. It's like, oh,
Yep.
you know, I,
Yeah. Uncle
you
Ralph
know,
is never coming over again.
yeah, yeah, forget Uncle Ralph. Um, and then we think, okay, well, wonder what's going to happen next week. Oh, what about the week after? But we really only have the present moment. And when we learn to actually step into that space of presence, we become still. The
Yep.
chatter in our brain diminishes. We don't have anxiety about what's going to happen. We just come to this beautiful space. Now, I know that's not easy for a lot of people. What I have found, what works for me, is just simply focusing on my breath. If I'm
Mhm.
upset over something, it's like, tune that out,
Yes.
go within. And if the only thing I can do is feel the air that comes in as I breathe, feel it just filling up my chest, my lungs, my
And feeling that
diaphragm.
is positive energy breathing in.
Yes. And then letting it go. And as you let that beautiful energy go, that life sustaining breath that we take all the time, let anything that's negative go out with it. This is like just a natural way to inventory your whole body and find out what's wrong, what's bothering you, what doesn't feel right. Do you have a pain in your left hip, or are you thinking about, Uncle Johnny or whatever? Just let all of that focus on your breath. Let all of that just leave as you exhale. In with the
Yeah.
good, out with the bad.
Yes.
And if you do that enough, you'll start finding that your blood pressure drops, your respirations get deeper, and it's beautiful. It's so
Yes.
healing.
Yes, just to be still. And that's what I know talked to my daughter quite a bit because she's struggling trying to get through being COVID and college and go in an apartment. And I don't know how she's doing it. It'd be tough, but it's like she's finally listening. It's like take
Good.
the time to focus on your breath. And it's like Nick and teaching her how to build a resident energy balloon for herself,
Yes.
like a force field, which we're going to have to do this one day. Just talk to people about like the energy conversion box, like all those things that you think are so important that are on your list to think about and process and worry about. Guess what? At this moment, they don't matter. They
Right.
don't. Right now, right here, it's just you. So breathe in and just visualize. And it helps so much to visualize and just to focus on it and just incoming healthy, clean air that is just vibrant energy that, and then everything that you're blowing out, you're exhaling, anything that was those problems, any negativity, just let it out and then continue breathing. And when you're going about
Right.
your day, you find yourself starting to get worked up about something, stop and breathe
Right.
and focus on that. That is so simple. And that's going within.
Yeah.
And that's the beginning of going within. Everything
That's right.
changes. Everything changed for me with that right there. And it took me from there to where I'm like this all the time. Just turn off the devices. And I know, over these, everybody wants to know what's going on in the news nonstop since March, since we got locked in. But just that stuff is still stuff. Don't give it energy. Don't feed that monster.
Right.
Go out and literally do what I do. I freaking hug trees. I'm in the park and it's like, I'm not making out with it. I mean, it's like I hug these trees and I swear you feel the energy. You feel the
Well,
energy of those
you
trees.
you do feel the energy. And another thing that's beautiful, what I like to do is walk out. And of course, I'm in Florida and you're in Washington State, so it's
And
pretty
barefoot
cold
isn't going to
there,
happen. Yeah.
Right, right.
But
But if you can stand, if you've got a place where there's several trees around, what I've done lately is not even to hug the tree, but stand there, feel the energy of my feet, and let that energy soak into the earth. And then you can actually start feeling the roots of the trees. And you realize there's this beautiful intercommunication going between trees, all at the subterranean level. And that's how it is kind of when you're connecting with spirit. There's a communication going back and forth all the time, but you have to drop into the same energy frequency. Now, Carrie, you just mentioned a couple terms. You said resident energy balloon, something else I don't remember, but these are terms from Monroe Institute. And if you can catch the video two or three back, Carrie talked about her initial experience when she went to a virtual class with Monroe Institute. So if you've missed that, it's a must.
it's life changing.
Go
It's
back
life
because
changing.
this is where you start getting some of those skills. Now, I have my own YouTube channel, and on my YouTube channel, I do go through using a reball, which is a resonant energy balloon, to protect yourself and to protect your energy field. But it all goes back to focus. You said something that was pretty wise, Carrie. You said, you're going through the day, then breathe, just breathe. Well, the thing about it is we breathe all the time, but it's automatic and we don't think about it. So when you bring your focus to your breath, you realize you're bringing your energy that's way out there and maybe in your brain, like a hamster running on a wheel, chatter here and there. You're bringing all of that, all of your thoughts, which are energy, back to your very center of your being, which is your heart, your lungs, and you're bringing that beautiful breath in and you're being aware of it. And that can be so instrumental in lowering your blood pressure, like I said, and making you realize I am in the present moment and
Mhm.
I am peace. I choose peace.
Yeah. So I've been listening to the Monroe Archives. We've talked about this, which there's some fascinating things. And what we're talking about, one of them just totally came up for me. So Bob Monroe, apparently this was back in the 70s, he was a smoker, and the girl who was in the booth, she was also a smoker. And so the channel that was coming through was saying that she needs to change her habits. And he was like, what does she need to change? He says she's got to stop smoking the cigarettes. And then Bob's like, oh, what about me? Because he does it too. And the whole reason is, and this made so much sense many years ago, I was a smoker, you're not doing it consciously. It's like out of habit. It's just you pick this thing up, it's not a conscious thing. And that's why they said they're doing it unconsciously. So that's going about our day all the time, just doing all this stuff that we do, getting involved in all this stuff that we don't want to be a part of. It's just part of our, if you consciously make choices about what you want to do, like
Right.
consciously, like instead of diving in, like, I'm going to breathe here, and it's just we don't we do so much every day, just it's just rote, it's just what we do, but it's like it's not conscious. But when you're conscious, when you're
Yes.
present, you're conscious. You
Yes.
are, it just you just are. So you make these
Yes.
decisions based on what's best for me, what makes me feel good. So breathe in good energy, let out the bad energy, and just stay present, work on
Right.
presence.
Right.
It's everything.
Tune in to yourself,
Yeah.
tune out all the other stuff,
Yes, none of it
and
matters.
let those conversations from Thanksgiving, if they weren't positive, let them go.
Gone. Yep.
Have thanks.
Yep. Moving on. We got more
Moving
holidays
on.
ahead of us, more holidays to deal with.
Right.
Until next time, you guys, you take care.
Thank
We will
you.
see you
We enjoyed
later.
it. Bye.
Always do. Bye.